I need you to open with
I
that.
love how you do that. You're like, yep, but I'm supposed to know you're recording now.
I just wanted to get her laugh on video.
Are you recording that? Wow, you're the worst director ever.
No, you're not,
I'm
friend.
sorry, I had to get her voice on.
Okay,
Oh, Jesus.
let's go.
Help me if I do this. Lord be with us today.
You're the worst music editor
5,
ever.
4. Oh, I was counting.
It was over by that point.
It's gonna take us a minute to
The
get
goose has left the
get back.
pond.
We need to like re-gel somehow. We need like a.
But you got both apps going, right? We're good to go there?
We are recording on.
I mean, because I didn't get my cue, so I don't know.
You just started it all
I
wrong.
had to. I mean, at that point,
I just wanted to get your laughter.
the train was already off the tracks at that
No
point.
one will know why you were laughing so hard.
We'll know
Maybe,
that.
maybe.
So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Welcome
Welcome to you
New
as
word.
well.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. This.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, if there were rails, they left. Welcome back to season 5, episode 10 of the Shaken and Disturbed podcast. Obviously, we took a week off and probably shouldn't have, but we
took
did.
2 weeks off.
Let me live my life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let me live in denial.
Ain't just a river. Oh my. Obviously, we did not need 2 weeks off or a week off.
Okay.
Because there's a lot going on. We have a lot to get to today.
Yeah.
Uh,
A bunch of good stuff happened
yeah, Tracy can't drink.
anymore.
I think it happened. There was a fall yesterday.
Oh, that's your Sagoo into this?
Wasn't that beautiful?
Oh.
Wow.
That was so well done.
Oh my God, you're evil.
That was a
He
great.
is.
You know, that was a great caveat.
Oh. Are we caveating now?
What the hell is this?
What are we at
We're using
work?
on. Yeah, we are.
I hate that word.
Caveat.
I hate that word.
Oh, you got.
You need to go into
Is
the
that the right
workplace.
use of caveat?
Is that the right way to pronounce the word?
Is it caveat? I feel like that's like a French piece of clothing.
It's what you eat caviar with. Here's your caveat. It's a type of spoon.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I totally was hoping
That's if
no
you
one
super
would...
rich.
Oh, I didn't let a word out. Dang it.
All right.
Oh my God.
Reginald's going to come after me now.
Oh.
You're Reginald?
Reginald's the butler.
Oh. Okay.
Why?
We have a Reginald. That's why.
And we do?
Isn't that your people's?
Oh, Reggie.
Oh, okay. I'm done.
Whoa, no! Stop! Delete.
Rewind. Because I hope they never hear this.
She was saying we had a Reginald in our group.
Yeah, that we called a butler.
I wasn't saying he was the butler. I'm saying
Neither
that's
was
what-
I.
No.
That's where it led.
She was saying we have someone with that name. And
Yes.
we do.
I was joking around about a butler. Super
I know
rich.
that. I know that. Why does that name fit so well with like the aristocracy?
Oh, you want to try that again? Apparently. No one knows how to speak here today.
Were you drinking from this morning?
I think so.
I'm telling you, that fall did bump my head. Maybe I did and I didn't know it.
Okay, I need to hear about this fall.
All right, so
Who wants to tell it?
we took the boat out. You know, it was the maiden voyage of Second Chances yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Second Chances is the name of the boat.
I think everyone derived that, but
Not new listeners or
I said
followers.
Maiden
took-
voyage.
maiden voyage.
Oh,
We didn't get a
It's
jet.
contextual.
or jet.
Not yet.
We got to
All right.
talk to Reginald about that.
Anyway, took the boat out. Maiden voyage.
On Second Chances,
The boat.
the boat that we had on the water.
And
We went all the way across the Potomac. I mean, not George Washington style or anything, but we
that was the Delaware.
same thing. Those waters blend.
That's historically inaccurate.
That's all right. So it was a caveat.
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 But there was a lot of PTSD.
Uh-oh.
I thought I was very calm.
No, you were fine. I
Oh.
had severe PTSD.
And I will say that I'm still not paying for that therapy.
Okay, so
Every time he turned around to look at the back of the boat,
you were like, oh my God.
if his face wasn't like this, I was like, something's fucked up. He's gonna lose his shit. So I probably asked him 17
Is everything
times.
okay?
I did,
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
all right?
definitely.
Everything good? You good?
Good Lord.
And then, I mean, I'm like, running like a champ. We're good. Still, though, didn't have that look. Is something wrong? Are you okay?
I get it. There was some
You
traumatic
know, there
times.
was some serious-
There was some traumatic
There
times
was. There was.
out on the
Potomac.
the first chance.
Should we call it like first mistake?
She wasn't good. The ex.
She was,
Yeah, that was a rough one.
but
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It
Yeah.
went well. But we went to go eat at Rick's, like we do. Not Rick's,
Tim's.
like we do. Rest in peace, Rick's.
Yes.
And we had, because oddly enough, gorgeous as it was yesterday, there was
was.
like no boats on the water. So when we got to Tim's, we parked ultimately pretty close to shore. So we just ended up walking into shore and walking.
Yeah, we
up.
were probably a little less than waist deep in
Oh,
water.
okay.
Oh yeah, it was really. So
Got close.
we parked. We docked or
The jet and its hangar.
and then
Not
walked
yet.
up on the way back to the boat. I was like, oh, there's this little stairwell that has a little dock where you can just walk right into the water.
And that's where it all went wrong.
So I'm holding my phone and my pants and something else in another hand because didn't want everything. Oh, my flip flops because you didn't want anything to get wet while
Yeah.
you were walking.
Because flip flops, you get them wet.
Well,
you
I was
just throw
afraid
'em
I'd
away.
lose them in the sand because the sand comes sometimes. Some of that is murky water. Where we were was not terrible.
Can you do that sound effect
No.
again?
No.
That was
you,
wrong.
You can rewind it if you want to hear it again. Don't do that.
That's what.
Ooh, that sounded like when I used to watch like.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
we've caveated.
I'm scared.
That is.
I'm
I'm
afraid.
joking. It's a joke.
No, have you ever watched Real Sex on an HBO Max?
Is that what they're calling it again now?
Well, I think it was
Max?
HBO back then, and they had like the Real Sex, and it would come on late at night. And it was
I
like
do
a
remember
series.
those.
I used to watch them all the time. But one of them they did was on prostitutes, and they were in Atlantic City, and I was like, oh my god, it's where I'm from. I want to see what the prostitutes in Atlantic City, and they did multiple like scenes of blowjobs being given,
No, okay.
and that's what it sounded like.
So that's what unlocked in your mind just now?
Yeah, it did.
All
Took
right.
me right back there.
Hooker blowjobs. Childhood memory. Why are we not in syndication?
Because this.
If you listen and or watch this and don't laugh, just go back in your cave.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm holding all my shit up,
Yes.
and I knew.
She's waving it around like she just didn't care either.
I believe it.
And I knew it was going to be slippery because it's wet.
Slippery when wet.
Bon Jovi let you know that.
So I carefully step onto the step. It's like the fucker was like this. That step was not flat. When I hit it, I went flying.
Up?
Like
Out.
all feet, everything in front of me.
She went down and out. Very
Oh my
rapid.
God.
Like-
it was out. It was
boom, and like
You
out.
fell on your back?
Yeah, El Rapido.
like bruise on my ass, whole back of my leg. And you know me, pride. I'm like, fuck this. I'm standing up and I'm gonna walk my ass to that boat
Oh, God.
because there's people around that I will not be hurt.
Do you know what everyone else did? Walked back up the steps and went the other way back to the beach.
They're like, "Fuck that."
It was like, I'm not doing that.
But I just imagine, because mind you, I'm now in my glory in my suit, which I was very, very.
You look great.
I was very just chill yesterday and like confident in myself. I didn't care that anybody saw me in my bathing suit, but I don't think anybody needed to see this.
No.
Tumbling down the stairs, splashing into the water.
You fell in the water too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god.
that's a blessing, actually.
Oh god.
Because it would been like on the concrete.
Oh, I would have broken something, I swear.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit 2 steps on the way down, and I hit that water, and I was like, fuck. But I will want you to know, everything stayed above water.
There you go. Okay, if
Except
that had
her.
been a drink, you would have saved your drink.
And I was like, are you all right? I was like,
And I turned
That was
around.
on your way to
the boat.
Back to the boat.
Back.
We
Now-
had already
okay.
had we had already eaten, and we were heading back to the boat to chill out and have fun.
Now, mind you, Logan and Boo are already on the boat, and they're like laying out on the bow, and they're just like sunning, and they're like amazing. When I happened to say to her today, I was like, "Did you see me take that fall?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, we saw that."
Oh.
She goes, "Not pretty."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's what you have to say."
Thank
Not,
you.
"Mom, that looked like it hurt."
No,
or,
no.
"Mom, were you okay after that?" No, not pretty. Thank you for confirming my worst fears as people were eating above me and probably looked down and saw this whale.
You know what?
Wow.
She was raised in this household. That was her response.
I was
Should have
like,
jumped up. I got a fish for that trick.
I wish you thought of that.
at least Logan was like, from far away, he's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like,
Okay, see?
"I'm good." My daughter didn't ask.
Well, he was raised
No.
in another home. That's what
Where they do this.
Yeah, I mean,
where they are mindful.
God, to be able to bring that back around, 5 it up. That was beautiful. Oh, 3 weeks removed.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, I'll do it.
Hilarious.
Are you okay, friend?
I am. I told him I was fine once I got out of the on the boat and rested for a couple minutes. I was okay, but then we went back in the water.
She did the.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the current push because it's pretty bruised back there. It's one of those deep bruises where I can't see all of it right now. But anytime anything even remotely touches it or brushes it, I'm like, oh, it's so. But I told him, he made fun of me. I'm like, I was so afraid I was dripping blood because it felt like I got cut, like I had an open cut. And he goes, "Did you think Jaws was gonna come get you?" I was like, "No, asshole," but I'm walking through the dirty Potomac river, and I was afraid I have an open wound.
Yeah.
There's enough drugs in that river that's gonna heal you right up.
And I was like,
Or
"Thank
you'll
God
grow a tail."
we have
Yeah.
a first aid kit." I'm like, on the thing, I can back teen it or clean it with alcohol wipes, but it actually was there was no open cuts or anything.
Okay, good.
It was just
Just
scratched.
bruising.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God,
God.
so sore. Last night I was trying to sleep, and I'm like,
You gotta sleep on your side. You don't even have a good side because the shoulder.
Jesus.
I swear that's part of the reason why I couldn't sleep last night. Because I was trying to turn on my side, but not put any pressure on my shoulder. So I was like,
It looked like you were pop locking all
Pretty
night long.
then finally 4 in the morning I woke up and I'm like, I'm going downstairs.
Aw. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon,
I'm fine.
and that nobody was recording.
I'm sure they've got that on
I'll
camera.
bet you that's on Funniest Home
And they've
Videos.
got
I
it-
hope I win somebody $100,000.
They're,
Is that show still on?
I don't know, but
I
it
don't
should
think
be.
it is.
Okay.
Because
I think it's gone.
it would be a winner seeing my fucking ass. And I'm surprised my boobs didn't pop out because that bathing suit was real open.
That's why I like it.
Be like, you
Now
are
it would have been on video if a tit popped out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have said, "Don't move. I'll be right back."
Just paparazzi. So.
Thanks, staring at me.
Oh my God. Anyway, so that was that.
Yeah. Quick update. I know you've been wanting this more than likely. I'm not a reach under. It was a lack of stretching. I was a little tense.
So you just made some wild
Where the
adjustments.
hell did that come up? Did you stretch? Did you do
suddenly-
yoga?
did you, try something new?
I mean, I didn't. I was like, man, there's no way I'm this old. Then I was like, I must have just been tight that day.
You
So
couldn't
good to
do
go.
it. You couldn't do it.
And I'm back to the OG.
I'm glad to know that you're back to normal.
Well, I also, I have to view your feet as a blessing now
Why?
because I found some. Not on purpose. I did not go hunting for feet. I promise you.
I don't believe you.
But it
Right.
it popped up, and this is them.
Those are not real feet.
Those are real feet.
No.
Yeah.
Look at his toes.
That's his toenails or claws, if you want to call them that.
Don't bring it over here. Don't. I don't want to see it.
Those are not real. That's like graphically, like what's AI or
CG.
maybe.
It's one of them two letters.
It comes right after caveat.
I
One
swear
of
to
them
God,
two
I'm
letters.
intelligent. I'm not this stupid all the time.
I said those words recently about myself.
God, I'm like, can't get
So-
anything.
There may be some. I mean, you're like downstairs going, here's a drink.
So I put it to my mouth, and I still couldn't. Just didn't put it in all the way. I don't know.
See, that'll teach you.
That's a problem.
That'll
My
teach
lips
you.
here, is it here?
Put it in all
Go
the
a little
way.
further. Yeah. You got to spit on that thing.
We know I have a small mouth.
We're not going
Well,
there
use
today.
all of it.
She tries.
Use all of it
Right.
to drink.
I'm a good one.
To drink.
I'm a good one.
Wow, we were like the
that's true.
purpose of this episode was to catch up on some wholesome stuff, and we're
Well, let's get to it.
wow.
All right. Maybe
Let's
we
show
can,
Should
our
we?
range of talent by going wholesome.
Let's see if we can switch gears.
Because it really is a good conversation.
Let's talk about cancer.
Or
The American
Why?
Cancer Society. Be
Why?
specific.
Why did you do it like that?
because he's
Do you,
evil.
do you expect me to do it otherwise?
Okay. All right. I'm going to try.
We know who I am.
I'm going to try to be the adult in this room.
Right.
I can do it.
Not when you're with him.
Oh, damn.
No.
All right.
Make sure you have your caviar spoon.
All right. Somebody kick us off here.
Okay. So last week
Last weekend.
was finally we had the
First annual.
wow, you like read my mind.
So I do. I can start and finish your sentences.
And
And sandwiches.
of the Stafford County Night of Hope, which hopefully next year will be an actual full relay.
I think it will be.
I do too.
I don't know the difference
All right.
between
I
what we
don't-
did and a
it
full
will
relay.
be no different as far as what we do.
That was a great detail. Let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It
But-
was I think we did the relay.
We did a
Okay.
relay.
I think we all 100%.
Yeah, everything we did
What's on your arm?
was a relay. I don't know what is that. Oh, it's probably starter.
I
It's taking over your life.
it just like
It's taking
yeah,
over
I
your
love
entire
it's on
life.
another countertop. I love that.
Sorry.
That stuff is like removing concrete.
When it hardens,
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
You've got to call a contractor.
like a chisel,
We're talking about
jackhammer.
Starter.
sourdough starter.
Yeah.
Just because not everybody knows your life. And we just want to make sure.
Don't they though?
It is my life.
No, for real.
I'm pretty sure
Right.
the relay, speaking of which, has taken its toll. I did such a good job for the last how many months? 5 months keeping that stuff going, but I have not been able to stay on top of feeding it the way I need to.
She means her starter, not the relay.
And
So what happened? Like, is she still good?
I'm trying.
or-
I keep
Yeah,
trying to
it's
keep
good.
her alive, and she's okay, but I don't think she's as good as she needs to be. So
She's
I'm
a
gonna-
BG.
So, and then I'm going to be away for 2 days.
Stand alive. Stand alive.
But
So silly.
oh my god, is that where you went with that? That was a stretch. But we had the relay.
It's a very short stretch.
And quite frankly, I mean,
100%
fucking
successful.
We kicked ass.
100%
That
successful.
was an amazing event.
We
and,
kicked ass.
And
It
that's
really
the
was.
only thing I really said online because there was too much to say, and I thought that was perfect. Like, it was 100% successful.
I will say that the aftermath of pain.
Yeah, let's get to that after this.
Yeah, we'll talk about let's talk about the joy first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
But
the joy.
I mean, the weather was insane.
All the days leading up to Saturday were rainy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thunderstorms, lightning. I think I even experienced some hail that week.
Friday morning was even like a little bit gross.
Yeah.
And then by
Did
mid.
you say thunderstorms?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, you are a freak of nature.
You are a child.
Seriously. then Friday mid setup, like it just the skies opened and it was like, this is the way it'll be.
It drizzled for a little bit
Except for
while
the
we were
wind.
setting up. The wind did.
The wind
Take its
was
toll.
fierce.
The Lord was a breathing.
We were
Friday
not
and
prepared
Saturday.
for the wind,
No.
and it definitely. If that's the only thing that went wrong,
Yeah.
we're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because it was definitely it took its toll on a couple people's tents and canopies, and
It almost took its toll on our Survivor.
our
tent.
Survivor tent we had to delay putting up after several attempts to make it happen.
Yeah.
Priscilla almost got taken away into the
Oh,
skies.
That little thing.
I think that Boo had to rescue a canopy at one point for the nothing but cakes.
No, she got slammed by that thing.
Oh.
The first responder saved that tent.
Oh,
They
glad they were there.
they
Well,
showed up
that's
just
why
in
they
time.
have that name.
They responded first.
They did.
Lived up.
But we had an amazing attendance. We actually, I mean, just like with anything you do, there were people that were registered that didn't show up. But
Yeah.
we also had so many people that saw flyers out in the community or heard about it at the last minute that just randomly showed up.
That's
Didn't
awesome.
didn't expect to be there long. Ended up
And
doing
then
several
stayed.
laps. And
Oh yeah, I mean there was like when I was up at registration, I mean, and people were like walking up from the neighborhood going,
What's going on?
"What's going
here?
on?" I'm like, "It's Relay for Life." He's like, "Can we go?" I'm like, "Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Buy things."
Yeah.
Right.
We need to actually take advantage of some of these neighborhoods that have like Facebook pages.
Right.
And advertising,
yeah.
especially around where
Make
the school
another
is.
note.
I know.
Make
I have a
another
list
note.
in my phone of like things that we need to kind of like not change, but like tweak,
Add to.
add to,
Enhance.
adjust. Enhance.
Enhance.
Oh, look at you with you. He is big on the words today.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm very astute. with
I
words
haven't
today.
sent out. It took me.
You are astute.
I was pretty emotional, like internally for several days, just because it was so awesome. And it was.
You mean afterwards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so overwhelming. Like it took me a long time to process
Oh,
it all.
It was crazy seeing. I mean, there's been a ton, in the brunt of the weight has been on you through this process. I mean, there's no.
I don't know. She's taking on quite a bit too.
I agree.
I like had to ping come some of those. I was like, you need Tracy for that.
But to see it go from last year when we were down in Spotsy and went to that event where
They did
not
their
only
best.
myself but many other people who were harassing you going, you could do this so much better, to what had just happened last weekend. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
to
like
take,
your,
to
your
take the
text,
vision.
That's what got me in your text.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you made me cry, like real tears with that. When you were like, you had the vision, we saw it, and
We did it.
We made it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just like, holy shit! Like it,
Yeah.
and it did, and it really happened.
It happened, and we did it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
look-
we were a tiny few
Oh,
that
yeah.
made such a big
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
happen.
Yes.
That is what I'm
that
amazed
picture of our little
Crew.
committee crew group
by. Yeah.
that we took, that's my screensaver on my desktop now.
Yeah.
So I get to look at that every day going, this little rinky dink group of people.
Who you call it a rinky dink?
We're old. Come on now. Made this happen. If it wasn't for River, it wouldn't have happened. But she was the real driver behind it all.
But everybody
That
did
pie.
like their part, and I mean, there was obviously, which like there's going to be people that are more active more consistently, like myself, you, because we
Yeah.
are like the
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody did their part, and
It's true.
everybody, my one thing that I know, and one of the big things that I need to do better next year is fought so hard for volunteers and had a lot on there. Actually, by the time the event happened, but I dropped the ball in communicating to the volunteers when and where they were going to be posted. So they didn't know where to go. So a lot of them didn't. And it worked out fine because it was so well covered and so well organized that a lot of things just kind of fell into place and didn't need them. But like, I felt bad for Jacqueline because she had some grand ideas for decorations
Yeah.
that she just didn't have the manpower that day to make happen. And so I'm trying to like brainstorm ways of like, okay, a lot of the people that were volunteered and I put them on that duty didn't show up because on my fault. They didn't know they were supposed to.
It was a lot to get through. And I think that all the little things that slipped are just things that we have to super focus on.
Right.
And next time we do it.
We've talked about that, a little bit already.
All the major things were covered.
Yeah.
Like the trash stuff, like having multiple people on call to do like the runs for the restrooms for the elderly because he can't do it all.
And I told her, I was like, I felt like I didn't do or give emceeing the justice that deserved. And there were times where I missed stuff because I was trying to keep up with trash, or I was trying to make sure someone got to the bathroom or got to their car or got from their car. Yeah. Down to the event. I was like, just can't do that.
It's really difficult, and you'll have to try this, and I know it'll be difficult, to separate yourself as an organizer and then a doer.
Right.
Because if you can sit and orchestrate, all the people that are supposed to do things will do them.
And you're right, because the parts that people knew they had to do, they did do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a matter of me. It's a learning process. One thing I will say is, and like a couple of shout outs that I want to say throughout the show, not that they might not listen, but the people the people that are listening, I want you to know, like, one thing is, like, Kathy and Marco and that golf cart was invaluable.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost say we need 2 next year, and I don't care if we have to put up the money.
We do need 2.
Like, just to have someone who can do the running, but also having one available to do the little things back and forths.
One definitely for the elderly, and then one for the organizers.
Right.
Because you can't.
And the organizer,
it
has to be one that And, all right, we don't need to talk about this.
But it definitely.
We don't need to debrief.
We need to have we need to have an after action review.
But shout out to Kathy and Marco for letting us.
Thank you guys.
Borrow it. It was
absolutely
massive, and the value is just. I mean, you can't even put into words how helpful it was. And we questioned whether or not we needed it. In the very beginning, when we were like, "Oh, it's like $700 to rent it for the day. Oh, that's not worth it." And then I was like, "You know what? Kathy might
totally worth it."
Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
insane.
Yeah.
I don't think. I honestly believe if we would not have had that, one, probably wouldn't have been able to do the things that I did.
Right.
And 2, definitely would not have been able to walk the next day.
Well, that and I didn't even take into account the elderly people or the people who had injuries who. The bathroom is up the stairs or the hill. Yeah. Like we have to have a way to transport them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's necessary. Another big shout out is the photographer. God, what an amazing soul.
Yeah, his name is Keith Turner, and if you have any opportunity to,
is that his site? Was it that Smug Bug?
Yeah,
yeah. So we need to make sure we rep that when we do it because that.
So here's the story on that.
Yeah,
so,
please.
Tasha, who helped with the Kids Corner, at her child's first birthday party, a young lady took pictures and gave it to her. And those pictures were absolutely gorgeous. And she said that she wanted to volunteer and help and take pictures of our event. I think she does sports. And she really thought we were doing a relay, like running and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so she volunteered to cover it, just for exposure.
Yeah.
And then we kept missing each other. On meetings, text, I'm trying to give her an update and this and that and the third. Well, it turns out that when she got the event date and realized that she had a personal conflict, she didn't want to tell me. And I'm just like, wow, that's something I really need to know.
Yeah.
So it was literally
days?
Friday. It was either Thursday or
Friday.
It was Thursday.
It was Thursday when you let us know.
That I was just having a tiny panic attack. So she was like, I'm sorry, I wish I could have told you sooner, but I'm not available. And normally I'd be like, oh, that's fine, that's okay. But something broke in my brain, and I'm like, you need to find me a replacement. And it wasn't even her problem, and I don't talk to people like that, but I lost it. Like that's my version of losing it.
I mean, in that situation, I get it. I mean, it was something that you thought was in the bag.
Yeah, I really did.
That was set up and ready to go.
She never told me she wasn't available.
Yeah, and then that last second thing is like, I can't go. It's like, you want to die.
Right.
Is that what you're telling me?
So I was like, you must have colleagues. You must.
Right.
And so she was like, well, I'll reach out to this person and see if they'll reach out. I was like, okay, I will call you back. like
5 minutes.
I was like, I will give you some time and hopefully you find me someone. And that's kind of like how I left it. So then she sent me a contact text message. And I texted this person. I was like, here's our website. Here's what we're doing. Look at it and please give me a call. So he calls and he's really smug. Like, he's like, I'm looking at this website and he's like, what is this about? Because our website doesn't really say
Right.
No. And that's another thing that
what we're doing.
But that's you're talking about the ACS website.
Yeah.
That's their website.
He was like, what is this? What are you doing? He was like, what do you need me to do? So I read him the sequence of events, the ceremonies, what was going on. And he said, all right, well, and I said, and it is purely voluntary. And he goes, oh, y'all even gonna pay me? Like, jokingly. And I was like, no, it's voluntary.
We'll feed you.
I said, I'll give you whatever I can, but it's not going to be payment. And I understand that you guys
they have a
get paid
business.
for your time.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, perhaps you could just stay for a few hours and, maybe you can just do the top or the end. If there's somebody else you think might need some volunteer community hours, maybe they can cover a different time. And he was like, all right. He's like, I have a spin class in the morning and I'll just stop by afterwards. Like, he was really non-committed to doing this.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, these are the really important things that are happening. If you could stay and capture these. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you know what? He's like, I don't mean to make this about me or anything. He's like, but my mom passed away from cancer. And so we got to talking about that. And then he said, and I also had a brief bout, something with his lymph nodes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, I will definitely, I said, this is a great opportunity to honor her, by doing this. So I will bring you a luminary and we can honor her that way. You can honor her in that way. And, just stay however long you can. And he's like, okay. So he shows up and he's just like, where are we? I was like, Kate Waller-Bear, that's the high school, that's the elementary school, and this is the track. And he's like, okay. He goes, what am I meant to photograph here? And I'm like, everything, like whatever.
But he did.
And so once he spent like an hour, he went to every tent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He spoke to everyone, took a picture of every tent.
I think he was done at that point where he was like, all right, I'm in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was involved. And then I took a lap with him and we got to the corner, fairy godparent corner. And I said, every one of these bags is a child. And he just lost it. He was like, okay. I said, every one of these bags are children.
Children who passed away
And-
or fighting.
And he was like, yeah, okay. And then he was just committed at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
He was just committed at that
He
point.
was amazing.
Yeah, he did such
Yeah.
an amazing job. I
I
mean,
mean-
he did. So, I mean,
People loved him being on
Yeah.
the track with the camera
I mean-
and
Yeah.
like recording them. They
Yeah, I
thought
don't-
that was the coolest
I don't
thing.
know how many times that we had interactions with him, whether it was together or individually. I know I talked to him several times, and just so appreciative, of him. Just he gave his time,
He
for
did.
for an amazing
And
cause.
what I just thought was amazing for me, from my perspective, is every time something was going on that I was like, oh, I hope we're getting pictures of that, I would look and he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything. I'm like, oh, I hope. Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he's. Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
I was
definitely a professional.
He just knew where to be, or if he wasn't there and he saw what was happening, he made sure to get there.
Yeah.
Like, so it was because, like, talking with Tasia at the end of the night, and she was doing bathroom duty up at the top of the hill, and I had gone in to get something, and she was like, I will do this every year that
Yeah.
you do this, and I was like, I love that. She's like, I cannot tell you, and her boyfriend, her fiance. He was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. He's like, I cannot tell you
He
how
was super
grateful.
smiles.
He was.
No,
was like-
he's 100% happy all the time, that guy.
Really?
such a
well,
good
he
dude.
was overly happy.
No,
and
his soul is just so
Such
pure.
a-
like
yeah.
that.
That is cool.
Such a nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I have loved every minute of this. And she was like, I have so many ideas. And she's like, I'm going to promote this. And I was like, I said, I want you to know, I'm not saying this to be fault, like to bring fault to anybody, but it was promoted. I said, every school in this county, every employee in this county got a flyer in their peach jar. This is the thing I have an issue with online stuff anymore. I get it. It's cheaper. I get it. It saves
But,
paper.
yeah, people
but
do
people
ignore
don't
it.
look.
Easy.
Ignore
I mean, it's easy because I told her that I hesitated for the longest time to put it out within my group, with who I work for.
Right.
And then when I did, in my group as a whole, we're a good 100, 150 people. 2 responses. Or
Yeah.
two.
It's hard to catch people. Yeah.
But that's kind of the it's easy to miss something in the digital age.
It is.
I mean, it's quick because there's been times, and I'm thankful I have like some good, PAs that I work with. They're like, hey, I'm like, oh, yep, on there right now.
Yeah, you got to be reminded.
But
Yeah.
I know that, like, when we're talking with her, I said, the thing that brought me joy, because at one point, before the luminary ceremony, or maybe even right after it, I just sat on the track. I know it must have been before because it was still kind of light out. I sat down on the hill and just watched from above. And by this point, the kids' games actually were going.
Yeah.
So, like, the kids were involved and having fun and,
Yeah.
and like, engaged in that stuff because it took a while and a change of location of the tent.
That was a good edit.
It was a good edit.
Yeah.
100%. And just watching the people, and I was like, this is like makes my heart happy because everybody was having a good time and everybody was smiling and enjoying it and dancing. And to see, I didn't recognize it because when you're busy, I didn't realize how many people were participating in the themes.
Yeah, and the
The
last.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, honestly, I know we were
all over.
hustling the entire time, so it was. But there were times like even I was like, oh. You got your guitar?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I'm like, oh, I forgot. I just announced this. And yeah, here we are. Kind of deal.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
to see people blowing bubbles and wearing the guitars. And
Yeah, it
I
was
was like,
so
people
cool.
are actually doing
Doing
it.
it.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Yeah,
No, it was a team effort.
we thank you. I mean, you grew the seed.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
That's why you got the big banner.
We watered it, all that, but
It
that was your baby.
Some learning things. I cannot captain a team next year.
Correct.
We never cooked. Our
You have
food.
to You have to sit
Okay.
back. You have to
I
sit
do.
back.
Someone else
Yeah.
will have to captain
Ames,
Herman's
very,
Heroes.
very sorry that food got thrown away the next
Yeah,
day. Because
Yeah.
we didn't cook the food. Poor Suzanne tried her best to keep
You
things
know-
on track, and it was just so hard.
I went over there and I was like, "Why the fuck are you guys
You know
waiting
what?
for Tracy? Just do it."
I know.
Right.
I
Well, they didn't have a
know-
grill.
But anybody, I even told Steph, I was like, "Go buy one. Go get one. Go to the house."
I know a young adult. I think we should draft, just because it would stress her out.
Boo!
No, I'm not gonna do that to that child.
Oh my god!
After what she just went through with,
the luminaries.
yeah, little sis.
You're gonna make her. She lives too far away to captain a team.
She'd
She's
be great.
coming. She's
She'd be
Thank
great.
you.
She'd be great. She's the boss at her job.
I was gonna say her, or I was gonna say Suzanne. I mean, I think that she would actually take
Yeah.
on a lot of the responsibility.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
caught
yeah.
a major hole in the plan, so I think that she's a good candidate as well.
and she will represent the team well, like as far as she understands the embodiment of
She would
what-
organize
of-
it.
well. We should have an official vote from the Herman's Heroes Brigade. Figure
to
this
think-
out.
Shout out to Mission Barbecue. Food was delicious.
Food was delicious.
Yummy.
When I went to go pick it up, they were slammed.
Were they really?
Yeah, because it was Mother's Day weekend,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
just had a lot of business, a lot of business.
Because moms love barbecue.
Well, I mean, if it's up to the dads, they're gonna go buy
Exactly.
it, and they're gonna barbecue. So,
That was my sarcasm.
but I thanked them profusely because they gave us a deep discount for
Yeah,
that.
they did.
Oh, that food was delicious.
It was delicious.
It really was.
It really.
I mean, all 4 minutes of eating it before getting back to work was delicious.
Well, I came home and made a bowl of mac and cheese about the size of my
Oh, yeah.
head,
We-
and I ate the whole thing.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I woke
The
up and
food
practically
did not go to waste.
Good.
I promise you.
I'm trying to
Okay,
think
I
else.
have a shout out. April, who made the Herman's Heroes T-shirts.
Excellent job.
She
Yeah.
did a great job. T-shirts
did.
came out really well,
They did.
Oh yeah.
and
People loved them.
People loved them. People bought them. We gotta help promote her too. She
Okay.
does it in home.
Okay.
You know, she's a stay-at-home mother and makes all these little things. Anything that you can print, put on a t-shirt, press, she does.
All right, well, sidebar so we don't forget it. I need all of this delivered to me in a text so I can put it all together and get it out.
Okay, absolutely. But not only did she make the t-shirts, she came to our event.
Did she?
Really?
I saw her. I
She
just thought
came.
that's awesome.
I don't
She-
know who this human is, so
She took
She was
the time.
tiny. She was not
She's the cutest thing
Yeah.
ever. She came down. She looked for me. We did about 2 or 3 laps, and she spent money at every team.
that's cool.
That's awesome.
And she was like, "This means a lot." She's like, "I have to hurry home." She takes care of her father. She's like, "I've got to hurry home back to Pops," but she was like, "This is beautiful." She's like, "If I could do more next year, just call on me."
And that's a
So-
great note because that's probably my 2 takeaways. One was the amount of people that came up to me like that. Maybe it was the bow that let you know I was the head person.
It could have been the running around screaming with the
Yeah.
air
Only
Yeah.
a person.
I mean, we know.
You think it was the bow?
There were 5 of us in those shirts. Any one of us could have
Yeah,
been the
but
leader, but they came to the bow.
Yeah, because no one could hear you because you refused to keep your earpiece in.
True.
We'll work on that.
I'm gonna glue it.
But so many people that approached me about next year wanting to be a part of the committees, wanting to be a part of like making it happen
got
and
it.
putting
Yeah.
it on, and just
That was huge.
so many like people. Like my favorite story is the little old lady whose son saw the flyer in Chick-fil-A. Which is the whole reason why we put those bad boys out there.
Yeah.
And we didn't think that they were having any purpose. And there was, I know at least 3 people that I spoke to saw the flyers out.
Nice.
In public.
Oh, that's good.
Like the one at the oncology office
Yep.
brought the team from Spotsy up.
Yep.
Then there was another one, and then the Chick-fil-A one. And he said, I just told, because his wife is battling cancer. And he's like, we're going to this. And his mother...
Awesome.
She's like, I'm the local secretary for the NAACP, and I will make sure we have a team next year.
no.
And it like
She
made
was-
my heart. She got my
Oh,
phone number, my
oh, yeah.
email address, and
She was the sweetest thing in the world, and they got there, and I was running around, and I saw them like sitting
by themselves.
by themselves. They're over by like Nothing But Cake. No, Nothing But Cakes wasn't there yet.
No.
But the sheriff's department was there, and they're just out in the sun cooking.
Oh.
They had 2 chairs,
Yeah.
and finally she grabbed me. She's like, "Can you do something?" And I'm like, "What's that canopy?" And it's like, "That's Nothing But Kinks." I'm like, "Not anymore." I'm like, "That's where they're gonna go right now." But it worked out. Even like the hiccups,
Yeah.
you know, in the whole day, panned out.
Yep. So
I mean,
many people
Yeah.
that just would never have had no idea what it was, had
That
no
makes-
idea.
That makes everything so worthwhile. I didn't
100%.
hear any feedback. I actually, I mean, we could talk about this afterwards, but that there was a day where I'm like, I couldn't do something, but I'm like, I will commit to putting out like 10 flyers.
Right.
Yeah,
And I drove around that day and stuck them everywhere.
Well,
and
and
I was like, ugh, you know,
Just please.
because
Yeah.
people sometimes suck
They're
when,
hesitant.
when you're trying
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And so that makes me feel good to hear that somebody just saw it.
They were
And
actually
showed up.
impactful.
Yeah.
You know, it had depth to it.
And it's
You know, there was a reward behind
It's
it.
the same thing I think with like parties. Like you invite 100 people, 30 show up. You put out 100 flyers. If 3 make it a known, it makes it worth it because then those 3 people will tell 3 people next year,
Yeah.
and that's 6 more people that are coming.
Yeah.
That's true.
So many people said that they will make sure they have bigger teams next year. Like they didn't know what they were promoting, but now that they know and they
Yeah.
will have pictures and they have experience. And my other big takeaway, and I told him this one, was a coworker of mine. She hit me hard because she's one of those people that she's not always the most like emotional or like positive people.
Yeah.
Or she comes across as not being that way. She actually is very much so.
Yeah.
But she came up to me after the luminary ceremony, and she was like, "Thank you for doing this." And she was like, "This experience has been so eye-opening for me." And I was like, and she said, "You know, I will be back every year that you do it." and she's like, and I will make sure next year, because she's going to a different school, that I promote it and I make sure people know. And
Yeah.
and she was like, she's like, I have people in my life who have fought cancer, but it's all been like mild situations. They've all overcome it, very short battles, and it's been like a success story, and it hasn't been an issue. She's like, so I don't feel like it's hit me the way it hits other people, and I didn't really understand what this event was about. And she's like, but being here and being a part of it, she's like, it is amazing. And
Yeah,
she said
it really does get you.
She said, makes me cry, makes me like gives me chills. She said that luminary ceremony, when they asked for silence and everybody respected it.
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
said it was deafening.
it was.
Like the impact of that people actually took it seriously and respected that moment. And she said, and at first I'm just walking around and it's like quiet and you're sort of just taking it in. She's
you
like,
could just
and
hear sniffles.
she said, then I started hearing the sobs.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and you heard people like their hearts broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, and it hit me like most people don't have the experiences I have. And
Where it's a good outcome.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, that was so powerful for me. And I was like, thank you. She's like, I now understand why this is so important to you. And
Yeah.
you've done this for as long as you have. I'm like,
Exactly.
because when you do it once, you'll do it.
stays with you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that was probably like the moment that I was waiting for. I mean,
The luminary?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and just because it stops, because the event was so much fun.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it was exhausting, but it was so much fun.
It was.
But when it came time, I mean, I was like, this is where it's important to me.
Right.
I mean, this is what this event is about for me.
You conveyed it very strongly. Like you switched the tone when
Yeah.
you made the announcement.
But I mean,
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
my name was on those bags.
Yeah.
A lot of them. There's a piece of my heart in each and every one of those bags.
Absolutely.
And just because, of everything we've gone through, and,
Yeah.
as a family.
Mm-hmm.
So just the reverence of it
Yeah.
was,
Oh, so amazing.
yeah. I was like, I think that was like the third time I cried that day,
Yeah.
or that weekend.
It was really nice to hear so many of my coworkers who volunteered to help or be a part of it because they're supportive of their coworker, but they'll come back
For something else.
because it had an impact on them.
Yeah.
And they'll come back because they loved it so much and they enjoyed it so much and they saw the purpose of it. And like some of my coworkers who do not get along at all on their team
Uh-oh.
had amazing times together.
Yeah.
Because it was about something different.
You put it all to the side.
It was
Yeah.
about a bigger thing.
That's such a massive. Oh, another shout out, Steve, our DJ.
DJ Steve.
Okay, he was the whole party.
He
did
was.
such a great job.
He was the whole vibe.
It was. It's
He was
hilarious.
the whole vibe.
We were up there Sunday cleaning up, and a lady, we've seen her up there before. We've been there in the afternoons. Like, she'll come and walk laps and stuff. She came to walk her laps, and we're doing our thing, trying to get the disaster area cleaned up. And she stopped and was like, who was the DJ? Because we were at our house and we were grooving.
She said he played everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. It was
He
so
did
good.
such an amazing job.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to be able to like link up with him, because I love Steve to death.
Yeah.
But to be able to have that kind of banter and
It was
play
kind of
off
cool to
back
see
and
him in a
forth.
different
He's got a
element.
personality
Yeah.
that I
It-
never got to experience
I
before
mean,
then.
shout out to Steve. He killed it.
He did.
He worked it. He
Yeah.
worked
Yeah.
it.
Him, Stafford County Sheriffs, man, those guys came through.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they were, because I thought they weren't bringing motorcycles. But for those guys to show up and post up there, that was
Unfortunately,
really
the
cool.
canine demonstration couldn't take
Yeah.
place because there was too much activity in the
Yeah.
county.
Oh,
But the guy, he was
they
super,
were at work.
Yeah, he was super apologetic. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, crime comes first, person. kind of deal.
Oh, the step team.
The step team. Those
man,
ladies gave.
the North Stafford High School step
They
team.
gave.
They killed. And that second round, when
Yeah.
they did it over on the blacktop
Yeah.
over there That was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
It gave-
the whole Family Feud kind of set up. That was so slick the way they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did
Those-
such a good job.
Those ladies just nailed it. Then
I hope that they come back.
She said 1,000% they will be back, and she is going to try to get more people, like their competition, to come and to say, like, we did it last year. It's
let's
worth
showcase
it. Do
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were so many. I mean, nothing but cakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a great job. The food's delicious. Thank you for making me fatter than I need to be.
The water ice guy.
The water ice.
fudge.
Nicole. Okay, so Nicole-
we have to get water ice to stay longer. I'm sorry.
I think he ran out of inventory.
did he?
Yeah, he did.
Well, he's coming back.
He ran out.
I will talk to him, and he needs to bring more because
Yeah.
that was a freaking hit.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not see one like there was at some point where you could tell he showed up because everyone that passed had a cone in their
And
hand.
then there was sometimes you would see people see someone else with it, and they're like,
Oh, stop!
I'm stopping this lap right now, and they would go.
Yeah.
But amazing job.
The
Please
Taco
go.
Tuesday had wonderful food.
So Nicole,
Yes.
she hit me up, I think Friday, and was just like, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to participate because they're packing up, they're cleaning up their house to sell it and move to Huntsville.
So we're
Oh,
not
wow.
going to have moonshine fudge again.
That's not entirely true.
Okay.
Because she said she's willing to travel. I mean,
Really?
like she does travel. She travels everywhere with her inventory. That's how she makes her
Okay.
money. So
Wow.
she does shows. Like I think she went to the Derby this week. Like she just goes all over the
That
place.
That's awesome.
stuff
So-
was delicious.
Yeah.
Because she was like, so I'm actually available, and I was like, fuck yeah.
That peanut butter chocolate.
the
my
espresso.
word.
The
No, the
espresso.
salted caramel.
Oh, I didn't even get to that. I saw peanut butter chocolate. I was like, I'm in.
I tried the salted caramel and the espresso, and I was like, oh my god, that espresso was so funny.
I was running around like crazy, and she stopped me one time. I stopped by, and I'm like, "Do you need anything?" And she's like, "No, I'm good." She's like, "Do you want something?" I'm like, I can't stop. But yes, I'll come back. I'm like announcing last call for her. I'm like, I'm here for mine, please. Kind of do. I'm like, I got 30 seconds. Give it to me.
If we called Chris, he'd tell you a funny story. And he ran the auction table.
Yeah, did a great job.
He
Both
did
of
a
you
great
guys.
job.
He did.
He did a great job. I thanked him
He
profusely.
could have kept my price lower on that jersey. I'd have really liked
We
that.
made almost $6,000 off of the
Yes.
silent auction items. So thank you everyone who
Yeah.
put something into that.
Absolutely.
Auction, 'cause
And I
they
made
were
a great friend out of it.
amazing gifts.
Yeah, the baskets were absolutely just gorgeous.
They were.
I couldn't get over how generous everybody was.
I mean,
Those
honestly,
donations.
I'm thinking about the baskets from this year and going, how do we top this?
Right?
I know.
They were
Because-
so good.
They
Yeah.
were so good.
I mean, it's like, holy
Nicole's book
crap.
basket going for like $300.
I thought it was close to
$380.
Yeah, it was almost 400 for
That's
that.
insane.
insane. The whiskey wagon was insane.
$2,000.
Yeah, with that, I mean,
Then that goes to their team,
Right.
But still, though that's amazing. I
That
mean,
was like such a hit.
it cracked me up. The fight for those Afghans.
Okay, that was involved in that fight, and I was just like, I was willing to throw down as much money as I needed to, but then your mom
Oh,
came up and put her bid, and I was like, I can't go against Mama Linda.
that's what happened to me. No one would vote
well,
against me either.
someone else didn't.
No,
think
she did.
It was okay.
So her and I-
thought it was okay.
Her and I, like, we paired up. We had a little side hustle going, and I was like, I'm not going to bid against her, but if you do, I was like, we win both those blankets. One of those is mad. I'll help you with the bottom line. So, I mean, she won both. She won both of them.
We got a side gig, so she's
Yeah,
gonna get her
definitely.
blankets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
she is.
so
She just has to pay for the yarn. And
if
she'll
you
get her
can
blankets.
put me inside
yeah.
of that side gig,
She has
like I
to
would appreciate
Pay
it.
for her yarn.
I mean, I
Right.
kind of want that.
Jason's got to pay for her yarn. and she'll get her.
Kind of how it shakes
Can
out
you
there.
please double that? So,
More than likely.
so the man's at the auction tent, and he's like, "Babe, I'm getting swarmed." He's like, "Can you please?" At this point, we set up the baskets, but
Are you getting near the end when the,
clip,
swarming
no,
happened?
the clipboards were blank, and people were like, "When do we start? When do we start? What's the
Now.
starting value? What's the
Now.
bit?" Like, because people were in the tent, and so
But he hadn't finished setting up yet.
he hadn't set it up. So Jess and I made the signs.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to write stuff out on the clipboard because we already have signs. I just got to go find them.
Right.
So there was a fiasco trying to get the signs.
They were in the
My
truck.
bad.
Okay, I was all over the place looking for the signs, and he was just like, I hate to get firm with you, but he was like,
But did he?
I fucking need this.
Did he hate to get firm with you?
Yeah, I think he kind of liked it. But so he sent me one last time to go get the stuff, and I went this way, towards the beads table, and I ran into Nicole, and she was like, "Do you want to taste one of these?" And I was like,
You're supposed to be working.
I was like,
but I'm gonna have some
let me
chocolate.
get that espresso. And so she starts cutting it, and I'm tasting it, and I look over, and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" He's like, "Are you eating fudge?" I was like,
You got in trouble. You got busted and got in trouble.
I could see his mouth. He was like,
Wow.
I was like, I gotta go.
You're like, wasn't me. It was the other D.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That is amazing.
He's like, I look over, and you're like, nom, 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 fucking eating fudge.
Because he's like fighting off people that want to like start bidding.
Oh my god.
So I was like,
No,
Well.
my favorite. I'm sorry, I'm going to tell the story because I was the one. My favorite part of that night, and it is something we talked about at work, was Jason wanted this Ovechkin jersey, and everybody knew it. And
Everyone waited to pull the trigger on bidding on until I did.
and
Yeah.
and we had a discussion about what his kind of so-called limit was going to be, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, 10 minutes before it was
Yeah.
done, he's like, you know what? This is my final bid. And it was below what we had talked about.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, are you sure? And here's my husband. You know what? Technically, I could probably get this online for cheaper. The only thing I really want is the jersey. I don't need the other stuff. So if someone else bids higher than me, it's meant to be, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yes,
blah, blah.
I lied.
And he walks away. And this little old lady comes up to me.
I had her put the bid in. I didn't put the bid in.
I did, and I put the bid in, and this lady comes up to me, and she goes, is that your husband that's bidding? And I said, it is. And I said, but he's done, so if you bid higher, it is what it is. And she's like, I'm going to outbid him. And I said, you know what? It's meant to be. He just said that. And I radio him, and I said, you know what? It is meant to be. This little lady is the one bidding against you.
I didn't hear any of that.
And it's worth it.
I heard someone is outbidding
And
me.
he's like, what? And I hear him go, like, I didn't get all that. And I'm like, it's no big deal. It's this little old lady. Like, it's a good thing.
Didn't
like,
hear that.
You know what I did hear?
Right.
No. First, I got on the radio first, and I'm like, bid me up. Bid me up. And I'm getting nothing back. I'm like, bid me up. And I look, and Pickle and Steph are on the back side of the table. And I look up there, and they're like, come on. I'm like, I got to go.
I just saw
All you hear is him going, put it up in, running across the field. And I was like, what is he talking about?
And I'm like, I don't know what it was, but it was like,
something snapped.
I was like, I don't think anyone's going to go that far. I really didn't think anyone would.
Right.
I truly didn't.
How did you feel when you picked up that clipboard and it said $1,200 on it?
He's the
I
one
was
that wrote the 1,200.
No, it was
I didn't.
not. It was
No.
not him.
No, I did
I
12.
put it in for him.
She put 1,200 in for me.
What did that old lady
She put 13.
She put 13.
Okay.
Okay.
And I saw it, and she was hovering over it.
And you know what?
And
She didn't put her name. She put "suck it."
No. That was earlier. That was early. That was 900 by
okay.
Meredith.
Oh, who put "Let's Go Caps"?
That was her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that was it. That was it.
She's the one. She bumped up to 13. And I don't know. It's that
No, it
internal
snapped.
like competitive
He
spirit.
like
snapped.
lost his mind. I mean, I look over. I'm like, this fucker is running across the field like a lunatic. It was already bad enough that people were stealing pens and
Oh, yeah.
there were like
But
brawls going on.
No, okay, no, seriously.
I will
so,
say, go ahead. and I'll
So
let-
Chris was like, "Babe, how do you want to close this down?"
They
He's
asked
like-
me.
He's like, because it's gonna get crazy in here because people were checking with every lap.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can feel like the intensity
can
rise.
feel
Which
The
is so
anger.
different from last year.
Yeah,
It was
Last
like
year,
crazy.
like
There was only one item last year that
So-
was any competition with, and that's in our basement too. So,
So I said, I think what we should do is just give 2 time warnings, like a 10-minute, maybe a 5-minute.
I announced the one.
Yeah.
And so and I was like, maybe we can pick up the clipboards or we could turn it over or something like that. And he's like, okay, I think we should pick them up. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I went to the other side to try to kind of like position myself, and then I was like, okay, I can't be the only one. I need help.
I remember him asking me, he's like, or you asked me, you're like,
Yeah.
what should we do? I'm like, flip them. 7 o'clock, flip them.
So the 5-minute warning, right?
Yeah.
I am terrible at reading lips, so you might as well come up here. Did you text me and her or just her? This is our child.
Pause.
Try to be quiet.
Okay.
Too late.
So at the 5-minute, you could see all of the.
People started to gather.
So there was people blocking clipboards. Suzanne, she was standing by her clipboard like this.
Was that for the books?
No, I don't know. No, it wasn't. But she was on the other side.
Oh my God.
With her back towards the clipboard. Like, I wish a motherfucker would.
She,
and then
I mean,
some other people, somebody picked up all the pens
Yes.
so that people couldn't write their bids on the clipboard.
we got some
And
sketchy
then
people.
And I was like, what? Somebody goes, I need a pen. And I'm like, they're on the table. They're like, no, they're not. And so I'm like looking
Just
in our
spit on
supply
it.
stuff to get pens. And I'm like, here's a pen. And somebody was,
Oh my!
it got wild. It
All I heard was
was
Chris going,
wild.
guys. And I'm in the background going, it's for charity. Guys,
anymore.
it's for charity.
Not anymore. This is for my honor. kind of too.
I
people.
thought there was going to be fist. I really did.
But I remember running up and the lady was standing there, both hands on the table, just staring down at the clipboard, just staring. And I snatched it and grabbed it. And I started to write 14. And I was like, let's test your will. And wrote 15. And she's looking at me like,
I was like,
And you underlined it.
dumbfounded.
You
I'm like,
underlined
it. Are you kidding me? Like, I thought we just had this whole big conversation about meant to be and like,
you know, I don't lie to you very often.
This was one of the times.
This was that time there. But it was, honest to goodness, I don't know. I was like, I want this jersey. I was like, I've got to have it, you know, kind of deal. And at the root of it all is like, I don't care how much we spend. It all goes to ACS. I mean,
Right.
I do, but I don't.
No, right. I
You know,
get
kind
what
of
you're
deal. But I wrote 1,500 on it and
underlined it. My-
and because she was like waiting, hands out, handed it to her, and she's like, "No, it's yours." And I was like,
okay.
"Good choice."
but
I did say that, but it worked out amazing because the lady's name is Barbara. I love her to death.
we're not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh,
We're friends, but we worked out a deal. She donated. I ended up paying $1,300 for
Right.
the jersey.
okay.
And she paid $200 for the puck. That was, and they both have certificate of authenticity, you know, signed by Ovechkin, which is amazing. We have a record breaking T-shirt that
fit.
limited people in this home could wear because it's a medium. I'm like,
A schmedium.
Child.
I don't know who was like, yeah,
Well,
there's
I could
tiny,
wear it on a thigh.
there's tiny people in this world, you know, kind of deal.
Who wears
But
a medium?
the cooler thing was, you know, had a chance to talk to her after, you know, everything was said and done.
Right.
And she's like, you really, you know, love the Caps. I was like, love them. You know, it's like, I said, I would love to get to more games. It's just, there's not enough hours in the day. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so what are you doing Thursday? And I was like, working. I'm a human, you know, and that's what we do. And she's like, Thursday night. I was like, we're just hanging out of the house. She's like, you want to go to the game? I'm like, what? And she's like, do you want to go to the game? I'm like, yeah.
Ma'am.
And she's like, all right, we're going. I'm like,
What?
I mean,
And they did.
There's very few times in this world where I am short of words, and that was one of those moments. But
I just think it's
so-
cool that it actually happened. Like, she
Yeah,
followed
yeah,
through,
yeah.
you followed
yeah,
through.
we
and actually-
texted back
Oh.
and forth earlier in the week, getting everything set up, and went down to the Sheets there right by 95 Thursday and picked her up. We drove into DC and got to be at the game together.
That is awesome.
So-
It was so amazing. Just had such a blast.
Did you wear your jersey?
No.
I asked the same question, and I was told, "Are you You're kidding me.
I'm like, that goes in a sealed box.
You
and
probably
will
would have
never be-
gotten jumped if you did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm more than likely. If
would've-
I showed up with that jersey and they're like,
Signed.
that's signed by Ovi, are you stupid? You know, kind of deal.
You would. They would have went upside your head for that.
More than likely. But no, it worked out so cool, and it's wild how it did work out.
Yeah.
You know, that was able to happen.
That's
Yeah,
just
she is
the world. When
yeah.
you do good returns.
And she was so cool. She's like, "Well, we'll go to some games again, next year." And I'm like,
I love that.
"Okay."
You got a
Yeah.
friend for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a sweet
That's
person.
awesome.
It was such a good time.
And how did she come to be part of the event? Does anybody know? Or
it
did
was
you ask her?
from her friend?
Yeah, she's actually one of my coworkers. Convinced her to. She started the team, the Nightingales. That was her team, and they didn't. They're neighbors, I think it is. Yeah, she's not her. 'cause
Book
she-
club. I'm sorry, I know all these details because Barb and I talk.
Okay.
They are
Y'all
neighbors
buddies?
though.
We're besties
Okay.
at this point.
Because Deb brought in two different people. She brought in two different teams. One was a person she went through treatment with, and the other one was Barb.
Oh, okay.
And
And so that was like one of my big questions. When we're driving up, I'm like, "So, what's your story?" She's like, "Nothing." I was like,
Just here.
"Oh, okay." But then we got into it, and we talked about I don't want to dig into depth. I don't want to say anything without her permission,
Right,
kind of
yeah.
deal. But she was involved with another fundraiser the other year for it was a volleyball tournament to raise funds for another type of thing. I'm sorry, I just don't want to touch on it.
no,
But,
I gotcha.
But she was looking for something to do, and she got that invite. And there are several people at your school that she knows.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're like, and they're all in a book club together.
Okay.
And so that was
Oh.
the driving force that got her involved. And I'm like glad it happened.
Right.
Hope you had a good time, and
That's fun.
hope you're going to be back
That's a fun
next
detail.
year.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. Just the way it all worked out to be able to have that time, and meet this human being who is so cool, and it's like this. No, she'll be back,
Right.
kind of deal.
So all the things that were given back. It's somehow, some way,
Yeah.
either new friend, new connections,
Yeah,
new memories.
We definitely made.
definitely. I
Definitely.
mean,
So good.
she got me Friday, and I love you and despise you for it before the event. I had no idea in this.
Even though he's mad at me.
Gets me emotional.
What'd you do?
Oh, Craig and Nicole.
Craig and Danielle, they connived with her, and I was 1,000% not aware
Yeah.
that they, for I don't know how long you guys had planned
Months.
it, they were coming, and I had no clue.
Yeah.
So when they showed up, I loved them so much.
I loved being part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my God. They're my brother and sister.
Yeah.
Not in a weird way. Just saying because they're married.
They're so cute.
But
though.
they're just they're family, and to see that, and to see Danielle come up running, I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, holy crap! Then I was like, holy crap! I'm like, kind of deal. So that was just so huge.
Yeah,
so,
they were so excited.
You know
Yeah.
what? I saw them come up. I was at the registration tent when they showed up, and they were like, "Are you Dee?" I was like, "You have some eye trouble?" They're like, "No, we're here. We're So I said, "Okay, give me your phone." So I followed them. Like I took pictures, I took videos.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it was going to be just an awesome little reunion you guys were going to have.
But,
He
But
had no idea.
this is
no
what
clue.
fucked me up. When he held his hand up and he had the tattoo,
Uh.
all the little tears fell behind my sunglasses.
I remember when they, because I guess I screwed up the first time that they were going to come down.
Well, no, they came down the first time.
No, but they were going to come down.
They were going to come down again
and I
in
I
Nashville.
screwed that up, but we went somewhere else. But they had sent
I actually
pictures.
screwed up because they were going to surprise you again at the Marine Corps birthday. That they were going to surprise because he texted me like in September and was like, "Do you guys normally do the Marine Corps birthday at Patty's?" And I was like, "Yeah." every
The
year.
answer is yes.
And
Except for this
he
year.
was like, well, Nicole, I mean, why do I keep saying Nicole? I don't even know where that is coming from.
Danielle.
We got a couple Nicoles.
You work
Danielle.
with one.
I know. Maybe that's, I don't know. Danielle, they really wanted to come down. They were going to surprise him. And I was like, yeah, we'll be there. And then it hit me like, I don't know, like 3 weeks out. I'm like, we're not going to be there. We're in Nashville. Like, I don't know. But I was so excited for them to be there and to surprise him that it wasn't
it
registering
blinked.
that it was the same.
Yeah.
And I reached out. I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, we aren't going to be here. This is a trip that's been planned for a year. I was like, I don't know why I didn't hit me before this. And I was like, I think I was just so excited you guys were going to come. And so he was like, we'll figure out something else. So then a few months later, when that was up, he was like, so.
That was a beautiful moment.
No,
It
it was really
and they
cool.
kicked butt.
They did.
Every time I looked, they were on the track.
I'm pretty sure.
and they weren't walking slow.
They
No,
were
I'm pretty
moving
sure
pretty
that Craig probably cranked out the most miles.
He did. He
So,
easily had the highest amount of miles of
I
anybody.
mean, he
That's
kept
awesome.
going, and to see that, makes me want to cry again. You know, just,
27 point something.
just the dedication. I mean, he's
They leaned in for sure.
they are just such true family.
Really good people.
I know, Craig, you're gonna listen to this, so I love you, and I am so thankful to have you as part of my life. You and Danielle both,
Danielle, I know your name's Danielle. I don't know why I keep fucking that up tonight.
because she can't drink.
To follow the theme with everything else I can't say properly.
I
Oh
do.
my God.
The only thing I regret is that
Did you have a few or just one?
it's just one.
Okay.
I was in such bad shape. Like my feet were like level 10 pain the entire time. So I don't. I'm gonna need one of them golf carts.
I'm telling you, I got to a point where I was like, yeah, they're gonna hurt bad for a few days. I was like, we're just gonna keep plugging.
Tell
Yeah.
you, my foot massager, though.
So Asics Gel Noosas, if you want to sponsor us next year, I could use some new shoes.
Yeah.
New kind of deal. But we can sit here, and I
But
know there's
we can have a meeting after this.
Okay.
But Stafford Massage and Healing said they will bring out their mobile van. If
let's
we
do
have-
it.
if
Oh,
we
I
bring
have a
them
couple
next
cool
year.
ideas for next
yeah,
year.
we've got some stuff in.
I'm still
Mocktail
working.
bar.
I'm still working.
We've got some ideas in the tank, but I know we could sit here all night and say thank you. And
there's
and
plenty of people
everything.
we forgot that I'll keep
And-
trying to thank.
And there are so many shout outs that are to come, but to everyone who showed up, who donated money,
And-
who put any type of effort into this event. The silent auction items were amazing. Rotary Club, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, they were huge.
You were a godsend. It was so
And
cool.
thank you to so many people. I don't fault the people that didn't, but I was shocked at the amount of people that stayed till the end and
Yeah.
walked the entire time.
Even though we got a noise complaint.
Yeah. Thank you
But-
guys for being noisy.
But thank you guys so much.
It was awesome.
That was
it was amazing.
such an amazing
And on to
event.
next year, bigger
Better
and better.
and badder. We're gonna make it louder for that noise complaint. We want that noise complaint to be justified. So, but thank you guys so much. It is never a dull moment
Yeah.
with this group.
I had to pee so bad I'm shaking.
Okay, well,
All right.
I was trying to keep it cool.
I was gonna be sweet and be like, "Thank you, Chris Dooley, my baby."
Yeah,
Aw.
thank
But
you,
then,
Chris.
well, overshadowed by
Not my
the
baby,
peeing.
but Chris.
Hurry up, close it down.
All right, do the countdown.
Hurry up.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. Check us out on Spotify and Apple and YouTube at shaken_and_disturbed. And we'll probably not see you next week because there's going to be a lot of drinking and a lot of boating going on. So,
Pumpkinator's birthday.
yep.
Oh yeah.
Go see the Excellent Drivers.
Two silos.
Two Silos Friday night. Excellent Drivers. Have a good one. Count it down, woman.
Hurry up.
That's not a number.
You usually give me the countdown.